Good day everyone and welcome back to Clean Cut EDC. I am very excited because today we are taking a look at an Elijah Isham design. And Elijah Isham, now deceased, you know, may he rest in peace, he offered us some fantastic designs. He really did, you know. He made an art out of designing knives. He was fantastic in doing that. He came up with some wild designs. Some of them more practical and functional than others, but this is what people call a functional Isham, and probably his most functional knife to date, right? It is a titanium knife in S35VN blade steel, and we are going to unbox this and take a look, do some first impressions, right? There we go. Ooh, that is nice. I love KIZER's packaging. They really do a good job with that. Let me just get the light. There we have it. Oh, some doorknobs. Lions, I love it. I love lions. It's awesome. There we have Passion Pride Performance, designed by KIZER. We have some microfiber cloth, some pamphlets here. Let me just show you guys another design he did. The Mega Theorem, as you guys can see. Elijah Isham. Oh man, just look at that. That is wild. That is a wild design. So I love the fact that he did some different things, you know, not something you would see every day. But let me show you guys this knife. There we have it. The KIZER THETA. Ooh, yes, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. That is so cool. So cool. Wow. Wow. Beautiful. Nice thick stock. It's the first thing I noticed. It's just how thick the stock is. Wow. That must be like 4, maybe even 5 millimeters. So 5mm blade of S35VN steel, fantastic steel. Still up there with the best of them. There we go. Come on, Theta, and there's the maker's mark. Isham. Frame lock, titanium. Beautiful pocket clip here. And the pocket clip sort of matches the design of the scales, the pattern that the scales go for. That's so cool, man. Wow. And this is not a new knife, but it is new to me. I got it from a friend actually. Bought it off a friend, let's say that. That is so cool. Beautiful knife. Just look at this, man. Wow. It is astonishing. So let's run through this knife. First up, I think I want to comment on the detent. It has a functional flipper tab, right? And the detent is dialed in fairly okay for the flipper tab. But as you guys can hear that, it's not very explosive. Whereas with your reverse flick with this thumb hole or spiral deployment hole, whatever you want to call it, it is absolutely perfect. That is just, man, it doesn't get better than that. That is the perfect detent for a flicking deployment, not a flipping deployment, right? So nice, so smooth. Yes. Okay, enough of that. So yeah, first up the blade, love the grind. We have a stonewash finish and then a polish finish at the top. So that's quite interesting because you know, pickled steel also does that. You guys can see there, stonewash, and then the grind and switch is in a polished or belt satin finish. Whereas here we have the polish finish at the top and then a stonewash. Very nice, well done stonewash on the blade itself. And I think that is nice because it sort of creates this awesome look with regards to the whole design. If you look at like just the way the lines are moving, you have this triangular look, and it continues on into the blade when the blade is actually closed. So you continue on with that pattern, that triangular pattern. That is fantastic, guys. And I think it takes a fantastic knife designer to actually come up with something like that, to use the finish on the blade to influence the overall design of the closed knife. That is just crazy cool. Love it. So yeah, stonewash finish with well protected also from scratches. That's great. We have this worn cleaver type blade shape, which is awesome. I really like that. Great for food prep, great for utility cutting. And there's actually a guy who's tested the Theta in an outdoor situation. I won't do that with this knife. It's far too nice, and just maybe out of respect for the maker, I don't think I'll do that. But it takes a punch. It can hold up against some difficult tasks in the outdoor world. So not created for that, but it is a tough knife. It really is, you know. Okay, great big pivot. I'm betting that is a T8. Let's check it. A workshop little knife maintenance kit, micro sharpener. That is actually a T10 on the pivot, and probably a T6 on the one little standoff we have at the back. So yeah, beautiful flow through construction. We only have this little standoff, but it's plenty strong. I mean, it's titanium all over, so it holds up great. That's so cool. Nice frame lock. We have a Overtravel stop. That is awesome. Very well done. The detent is weird on this knife. That's something I noticed with the flipper tab. It's not really dialed in for the flipper tab, which is odd, guys, because I mean, if you look at something like this, right? I'm just adjusting things here. If you look at a knife like this thing is expensive, it's high end. I mean, you can argue that it's budget within its class, right? Within the S35VN titanium class of knives, this is definitely not your most expensive knife, right? But you'd expect it to just be perfect. I mean, if they can, for instance, if pickled steel can get the perfect detent for both thumb hole deployment and flipper tab deployment on a budget knife, I mean, what's this, like 700 Rand? Then I would expect that a knife costing about just over 2,000 Rand will have a perfectly dialed in detent for both the flipper tab and the thumb hole. But unfortunately it doesn't. It doesn't have a perfectly dialed in detent. Okay, so I think, yes, this is so nice. I think a wonderful blade shape, beautiful stonewash, lovely action, but just not a great detent. Fantastic detent with regards to finger flicking. Not a good detent with regards to flipper flicking. Maybe if you just get used to it, use a little bit of wrist, it's okay. But not what I would expect, right? Okay, Overtravel stop, just a beautiful looking knife. The design of this thing is incredible. It's really a stunner, right? And something that I would maybe carry on a daily basis. This is a very futuristic design. It's definitely not going to be for everyone. Everyone don't really like this. A lot of people would prefer something more tactical like this, or you know, the blacked out stuff, and or button locks or whatever. But just with regards to the look of this, it's highly futuristic, but also super practical. I love that. I love this flat part. The way they did the flipper tab was insanely good. It's actually weird to me that more companies aren't doing this with the flipper tab, because it is still very functional. You can definitely deploy this even with this detent. It deploys like crazy good. So just not as well as I would expect. But yeah, maybe this is more of a top flipper than a back flipper. But I like it because sometimes when you have a knife with a flipper like the Honey Badger, that can really get in the way when you're trying to cut on a flat surface. So now I am forced to, if you guys can maybe see there, the only place where this knife connects is at the first tip. So you can only cut with this part of the blade. To me, that seems, you know, if you're cutting on a flat surface like this, maybe the flipper of the flipper Honey Badger is a little bit better than the Tanto, but you still just have this little bit of the blade. So I don't know, it can get in the way sometimes. Even the Heimdall offers you a bit more of blade, but you're still wasting a bit of blade. With this guy, without the flipper, you have the ability to use that full blade because there's no flipper in the way. That's why I prefer, in fact, I do prefer knives that don't have flippers, right? Because you have the ability to really use and maximize the blade. If we look at something like the Penguin, right? Also, you have a little bit more because it doesn't have that flipper tab right there. So you can get up in there, can cut on a flat surface, but this is designed very functional for those practical cutting tasks. This will be an amazing food prep knife, even though I probably won't necessarily use it for that. But it's great, right? Also fantastic, just the way you can stand it and have it as a showpiece. That is breathtakingly awesome. So perfect balance on this knife is absolutely absolutely perfect with regards to its balance, exactly where your index finger will sit. That is the pivot point. It is so good. A little bit short on the handle, maybe. I think they could have given you a little bit more with regards to the handle, but not bad. You'll get a full grip. You can curl your finger over that, use it as a choil. That's phenomenal, man. Wow. So cool. So beautiful. Wow. Love it. Can't wait to review it. Can't wait to stack it up against some alternatives in its price range, because we are interested in the budget options, right? But we will take a little bit of a look at what the best budget knife is within its class also. This is a titanium knife, S35VN, so it's not going to be cheap, but is it maybe budget for its materials? I don't know. We'll find out in the review, guys. Until then, have a knife day, and remember that no knife means no life.